Pain is a lot more complicated than people think. It's not just a physical sensation. It's a protective experience that is created by your nervous system. It may actually help you to think of pain as similar to an emotion and not just a physical experience. And the emotion it comes closest to is fear. Pain and fear look different, but they're built from the same system. Both are alarms your brain uses to keep you safe. They change how you move, think, and react, not to punish you, but to protect you. When fear works well, it prepares you to deal with an actual danger you're facing right now or a potential danger your brain predicts you might have to face soon. When pain works well, it helps you deal with an actual injury happening right now or a potential injury your brain thinks could happen in the near future. Both have predictive qualities and both are uncomfortable on purpose. That discomfort is the brain's way of getting your attention so you'll do something different. When they're working the way we want, they're accurate. They warn you at exactly the right time when there's real danger. Other times, they sound the alarm when you're perfectly safe, giving you a real experience of fear or pain even when there's no real threat at all. And I want to be perfectly clear here. All pain is real, just like your fear is always real. No one can tell you your pain is made up, and no one can tell you your feelings are invalid either. They're not perfect mechanisms, and sometimes they can be overprotective. Your brain would rather trigger a false alarm that makes you feel uncomfortable than miss a real threat that could cause serious injury or death. Understanding the connection between pain and fear, understanding how they both work, can really change how you think about your pain and also help you figure out different ways you can make your pain feel better. I'm going to talk about how fear and pain are similar, how they can overprotect you, and also how you can retrain them both in a similar way. Which means this is going to help you with your pain. Even though fear and pain are not pleasant experiences, they're not there to punish you. They're both there to protect you. Both are about what might happen to you next. They do this subconsciously without us being aware of it. As we evolved, before we had the words to analyze and interpret our fears and our pain, our nervous systems needed us to react to danger quickly and automatically without us thinking about it. Fear is for a quick defense. It's the feeling that pushes you to fight or run before your analytical brain catches up. Pain is the body-focused version of that protection. It drives guarding and behavior change to prevent or limit injury, hopefully before you get to the point of serious tissue damage. Both of these systems have the ability to change and learn and grow with your environment. Let's think about this situation for a bit. The first time you walk into a crowded bar, you feel relaxed. But one night, you bump into someone and they punch you out of nowhere. Instantly, you're scared and you need to figure out what's happening to you right now. You get tunnel vision, adrenaline, total focus on the threat. In that moment, nothing else matters. Later, when you go to another bar, you feel different. You scan the room, you keep your distance, maybe your shoulders stay tight without you even realizing it. You didn't decide to do that. Your nervous system is learning and adapting. It updated its prediction model. Now crowded places are dangerous. Even if this is rare and has never happened to you before, this has become your new reality. It doesn't have to be rational and logical when it learns. Its job is to protect you. It doesn't care what's real or what's not. Pain works in a similar way. You bend down to pick up a heavy box and feel a sharp pain in your back. In that instant, your nervous system's only goal is protection. You drop the box, stop moving, guard the area, and avoid more damage. Later in the day, you bend over to tie your shoes, but that same pain fires again. Nothing dangerous actually happened, but your nervous system remembered. Your nervous system learned. You've bent over to tie your shoes 100 times before. Even if you know it's safe for your spine, your nervous system doesn't care. The nerves in that area have become more sensitive. They now activate more easily, sending danger signals to the brain even when you're not carrying anything. It's the same logic your fear system uses after a bad experience, warning you faster even when you might already be safe. Context matters with fear and pain also. Imagine seeing a lion roaming free in the distance. You'd feel pretty scared, especially because that lion is unpredictable. You don't know what it will do next. But if that same lion is behind a thick glass at the zoo, the fear drops. Nothing about the lion changed. What changed was your sense of control and safety. That's just like pain. If you lift a heavy box at work, rushed, tense, and under pressure, that can easily trigger pain. But lifting that same box in a calm, predictable setting, let's say when you're helping a friend move to a new apartment, you guys are joking around, taking your time, that might not hurt at all. The load on your back didn't change, but the context did. Pain and fear are both affected by many factors like stress, poor sleep, anxiety, and past experiences. When a movement or situation feels uncertain or out of control, it can be more likely you'll feel pain. When it feels safe and predictable, pain becomes much less likely. Both fear and pain are constantly changing with many different factors affecting them. So what happens when they change enough to protect you from things that aren't really dangerous at all? Fear and pain are both meant to protect you, but sometimes protection turns into overprotection. That happens because both systems depend on what your brain perceives as dangerous, which isn't always the same as what's actually dangerous. You've seen it with fear. Some people are terrified of things that aren't actually dangerous, like clowns or elevators. They know they're safe, but their body doesn't believe it. Their fear system fires anyway, flooding them with adrenaline and tension as if their life were in danger. It's not that their fear is fake. It's just an overreaction. It's their nervous system overprotecting them from harm. Pain can work like that too. For some people, just bending over can cause intense low back pain, even without carrying anything. In most situations, it is very unlikely bending over is damaging any tissues at all. But the nervous system will still make them feel pain since it's being overprotective. Even for people with arthritis in their spine or a herniated disc, I discussed that in detail in another video on why your MRI doesn't explain your pain. I'll link it below, check it out. The nerves in your low back start reacting to smaller and smaller triggers, sending danger signals even when there is no real threat. That's when pain becomes chronic pain. Not because of new damage, but because the protection system keeps misreading normal activity as danger. You can actually teach your nervous system to get better at feeling pain, just like it gets better at shooting a basketball. Practice makes perfect works for pain too. An important thing to understand here is that both fear and pain are a result of many different things going on in your brain and nervous system. They're both real, protective outputs from the same nervous system that's there to help keep you alive. Now the part that you should really care about. How would your pain get better if you think of it like you think about fear? Fear and pain both have one powerful thing in common. They can change, and you can help change them yourself. They're protective habits your nervous system has learned, and anything learned can be unlearned. Take someone with an intense fear of clowns. Their system treats every sight or even thought of a clown as danger. You can't simply tell that person to stop being afraid, just like you can't tell someone to stop feeling pain. What works is gradual, repeated evidence of safety in a calm, controlled setting. They might start with a cartoon clown on a screen, then a video, then a costume from across the room, and finally standing next to a real one. Each safe exposure teaches the brain, this isn't as dangerous as I thought. Of course, you wouldn't do this all in the same day or even the same week. It all depends on how much discomfort the person can tolerate and how quickly they can adapt. That can mean it takes a month or a year, or it just takes however long it takes. It doesn't really matter. The idea is, as the overprotective fear response starts to fire off less and less, they can progress to more and more scarier versions of what a clown means to them. The alarm still fires at first, but with repetition it fires less and less. The system adapts. Pain can be retrained with the same idea. Let's go back to thinking about someone who feels pain when they bend over. I don't want them to think that they can never bend over again. They have to try slow and controlled movements to prove to their nervous system that their spine is not in that much danger. That could mean they have to start by slowly moving the spine while laying down on their back. Or it could mean that they can only tolerate moving their spine while they're laying on their stomach. The idea would be to find the movement that they can do with their spine that feels good or at least tolerable, and slowly build up from there. Slowly progress further and further toward bending forward. Each repetition is more data for the nervous system. It's more data showing this is not that bad. Over time, the nervous system starts to adapt to all these new physical movements. All this new data it's getting will force it to change and get back to actually protecting you. That way, it can actually protect you from harm and not just stop you from tying your shoes. That is your nervous system learning. This is a long, tedious process, longer than you think. And it's also not a straight line up to being better and pain-free. Things can be better or worse day to day, but generally over weeks and months and years, the trend will be toward recovering. The goal isn't to eliminate pain completely. It's to rebuild confidence and freedom so pain isn't controlling your life. Your nervous system learns from everything you do. Every safe movement and every painful movement is a learning experience. You can't think your way out of pain, but it helps to understand what pain actually is, since that will give you a lot more options to treat your pain problem. You have to show your system that you're safe through movement, patience, and getting a little bit uncomfortable. Pain isn't an enemy that you should be fighting your whole life. It's a system there to protect you. Your job is to stay strong and stay healthy, so you can show your pain system you can handle whatever life throws at you.